Hello and welcome once again. As Easter is coming up, I thought I'll do some cute bunnies. And this is a commissioned one, and the client wanted it all white. So I'm going to show you how I made it. It's holding a pretty heart. And that's the Romeo the Rabbit kit I bought from World Wool, and I'm trying that. So let's get started with this one. Rolling out some cordial slivers into a rectangular cylindrical shape, and I do everything on like nothing is completely measured out. So as I'm self-taught, I've just learned from experience of how big I want it to be. So it depends on the size you want, and everything comes with it, the firmness and how much you need to felt it down. It all comes with experience. So I'm gonna make it quite firm because it's the body of the rabbit. Rolled out some more wool. This is going to be the head, and I'm starting quite small because I'm going to build on with the cheeks and the forehead. So I need to keep adding wool for that. So I'm going to shape the head, and I want it a bit elongated. And I'm just seeing where the eyes are gonna be. So I just placed it on the body and to see how big I want it. I'm going to felt it down into the right shape, and it's not a complete round. Like I've added the nose area in it, so it's a bit elongated from one side and round from the other. So when I place it on the body, then I know where the nose is going to be and where I'm going to place the eyes. So this is the nose I'm shaping out with my needle, and here the eyes are going to go in. So everything I'm doing with my needle, you can use a marker to point out where you want the eyes to be, and it has to be symmetrical. So, and I'm going to attach it to the body and then add more wool because it looks too small. Adding more wool to the forehead, going down to the nose. So I'm going around with my needle, firming things up, and put it upside down and going around the neck so it is nice and secure. The both parts are attached, they become one. So you have to keep felting it. And as you can see, I'm shaping everything with my needle. So this is the nose and the mouth, and it's taking shape now. This is the eye sockets. You have to really make it nice and firm. This is a Clover multi-tool, and multi-tools help a lot with speeding up the work. So I didn't have them in the beginning, but now I've got these two and they really speed up the work. This is where the eyes are going to be. So I'm just shaping everything out with my needle, making it nice and firm. And I'm making holes to put the eyes in. And I used to do crochet, so I've got loads of the thick backed eyes for amigurumi. So I have to make holes with a scissor to put these in. And I'm just going to see if they are in the right place and go around with my needle. Get everything nice and neat. So when I'm happy how it looks, I'm going to glue them in. Using all-purpose glue. And I've just put some just on the tip that goes right in the wool. Then I'm going to make it nice and secure with my needle once again. Here I've taken two similar sized pieces of wool and going to make just small triangles. They look like ears, but they're going to be the cheeks because this bunny is going to be really cute and chubby. So I'm adding the cheeks, carefully going around the edges and under the eye. And then the back, I'm just going to felt it down around the head. With wool, you have to use loads of your fingers as well for pressing and getting things into shape. And you can shape with your fingers, pressing the wool down. So I'm attaching both the cheeks. And I'm going around the eyes with the thin piece of wool. So these are going to be little eyelids. Carefully going around because it's a plastic eye, so you have to be careful not to break your needle on it. So I'm going in and around the edges. So you get really thin eyelid. I'm going to do the same on the other eye. This is going to be a cute chubby bunny. I'm adding more wool to its tummy and going all around so it's nice and round. So you can make him as fat or as thin as you want. Now I'm rolling out some limbs. So these are going to be the arms, and I don't want them too big. So taking some wool off. It's just a cylindrical shape. It was still too thick. I'm going to felt it down and make a roll of it. And you have to keep rotating it so you get a nice round shape. Otherwise you'll end up with a flat one. And these are going to be the front paws. So I've just made them a bit rounded because they're going to be holding the heart. You can shape them if you want, but they have to be felted down on top of the heart. So I'm just making them nice and round. I'm going to make another one. And these are going to be the feet. So a bit thicker than the arms and a bit flatter. Doing both so I know that got the same size. Just making them round. These are going to be the base, and I'm going to add toes on top. Little rounds of wool, and I'm attaching that right on top of it. So I'm going to make three toes. Add three cylindrical shapes to form nice, cute bunny feet. So I'm going to form the three toes and position them on top of the base of the foot that I've made. The different kinds of ways of doing this, you can make cuts in them and then shape them, but found it this as another method of doing a foot. You make the base and then you felt the toes on top of the base. So there's nothing wrong in trying different ways of doing the same thing. Just keep learning more with each project that you do, and never stop watching videos, because when you see people doing their thing in their own style, there's something or the other that you learn from them. So I still watch videos of needle felting, different projects, different animals, and somewhere in your mind you're just grasping it all. So I'm covering the body with a merino white top, because this made to order bunny was was supposed to be white, so I didn't want to leave it at the core wool, and I wanted it to have a nice soft finish. And my client wanted a pink nose, so I've added some pink color, and I'm going around the eyes with a dark brown, very dark brown color, and it's just a shade of wool. I'm going right around the eyes and shaping them inside the eyelids that I had made earlier. So it's kind of an eyeliner, but on the inside of the lids. So it gives some depth to the eyes and enhances the shape. And I cut off the extra bits, because if you keep felting them down, they become thicker. So when you're doing very fine details, it's better to cut off the extra bit of wool instead of felting it down. Same way, I'm making the face, the mouth a bit prominent with a darker color. And this is a little piece of white wool that's going to be the mouth, going right under the nose. I'm felting it in shape and in place, and shaping it over there. So now it's ready to have the limbs. I'm making ears now, and I'm using the merino top because I don't want the ears to be too thick. So I'm using the top coat without the core wool. Just folded it into a shape of the ear, and I'm going to felt it down. And the merino top takes a bit longer to felt, but I didn't want the ears to be too thick or too big. So I've gone for the merino top, putting some pink in the middle. Once I'm happy with the shape, I have to neaten the edges. I always make ears too big and just cut off the extra bits. So it's better to make them bigger than to make them smaller. You can always cut off the extra bits of the ears. But I don't know, I have to practice more on making smaller ears because mine tend to be too big, and then I end up cutting up a lot of them. That wastes a bit of wool. So then the edges should be nice and neat. You can use two coasters and place it in the middle and do the edges like I learned from Philippa. And I'm going to use my hair iron to flatten them. So here I'm doing the edges. I'm happy with it. I'm going to use the hair iron and iron them out so they are nice and crisp and flat. So I have to do 2 ears, and this is the heart that he's going to be holding. So I've taken this is a carded red wool, Cordell I believe, and it was dyed wool I got from World of Wool. So just rolled it into a pretzel shape and felting it down, making a heart. Because it seemed too thin, I'm adding more wool to it. And shaping it with my fingers. The easier way to do it is to use a cookie cutter, but I want it with the size that goes with the bunny, so I'm shaping it with my hands. If you find it difficult, you can use a cookie cutter, heart shaped, but I haven't got one, so I'm shaping it with my hands, and I can make all sizes that I want. I don't need to depend on the size of the cookie cutter. So I'm just making it nice and chunky, neatening the edges. I'm going to shave off the extra wool using a lint remover. Now I have to add the arms. So I have to position them in such a way that he is holding the heart in the right place. I'm loosely felting them just to see if I've got the position right. And use pins instead of loosely felting it. And I'm felting it right, the hands right through the heart so they stick. Now the feet. And as I had added more white wool to the feet as well, they became a bit bigger. So he looks like a Bigfoot now. And I think I have to felt them in an angle to make them a bit smaller. So what I'm doing is I'm squishing them at the heel and I'm felting them so somehow they become a bit smaller. So it's always better to make smaller ones because you can always add more wool. But in my case, The feet seemed too big, so just squished them at the heels and I felted them in an angle so they somehow fold and not look so big. And once they've attached to the body, then I think they look fine now. So when you're doing something on your own without instructions, you have to go around when you make mistakes. So now the big ears. I folded them and attaching them to the head. And as you can see, they're very big, giving them little fold that's going to be attached to the head. I'm cutting off the extra bits. Now I have to fill down the rest of the ears. I'm using pins this time, and it's easier to use the pins because they hold the parts in place, and then you can fill down the rest of it. And as you can see, the joining is quite visible. So I'm going to felt it down and try to make it as neat as possible. And I'm going to use some white wool and cover the edges where the joining shows. And I'm taking it right to the forehead so the patch doesn't look like a patch of wool. And just covering it up, taking it right to the forehead so it doesn't look like a bump but the shape of the head itself. Now the little tail, just taken some wool, and as you attach the fur, I'm attaching the tail. And that's the merino top, nice and fluffy. I'm going to give it a cut, nice trim, so he has a nice tail. And this bunny has gone to the client, and yesterday she left me a really nice feedback. Thank you for that. And I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. It's a perfect time to make some bunnies. Do join me again. Thank you for watching.